Long ago, among the emerald islands of Polynesia, where the ocean stretched farther than any eye could see, there lived a fishing village nestled between swaying palms and black volcanic cliffs. The people of the village respected the sea as both provider and protector. Every dawn, fishermen paddled their canoes across the sparkling lagoon, offering prayers to the ocean before casting their nets. Yet beneath those peaceful waters lived mysteries older than memory itself. One moonlit night, after a fierce storm had battered the coastline, an elderly fisherman discovered something extraordinary resting among the rocks. It was a young boy, no older than 12, unconscious but unharmed, his skin glistening with seawater. No canoe had been lost, no family claimed him, and no one knew where he had come from. The villagers welcomed him with kindness and named him Koa, meaning brave one. But from the very beginning, Koa was different. He loved the ocean more than anyone else. He could swim farther, dive deeper, and remain underwater longer than any child in the village. Whenever he stared toward the endless horizon, a strange sadness filled his eyes, as though part of him belonged somewhere far beyond the shore. As the years passed, Koa grew into a strong and respected young man. Time and again, he seemed to know exactly when rough seas were coming, warning fishermen before dark clouds appeared on the horizon. Yet Koa carried a secret he did not fully understand himself. Strange dreams visited him every night. In those dreams, he glided effortlessly through deep blue waters. Schools of fish parted before him, sea turtles swam beside him, and somewhere in the darkness below, a powerful voice called his name. The dreams felt more real than waking life. One evening, unable to ignore the mystery any longer, Koa swam beyond the reef where few dared to venture. As the moon reflected across the water, he dove deeper than ever before. Far below, among coral towers and ancient stone formations, he discovered a cave glowing with pale blue light. Inside waited an elderly sea spirit with silver hair that flowed like ocean currents. The spirit gazed at him with knowing eyes and spoke words that would change his life forever. "Koa," she said gently, "you are not entirely human. You were born a shark and transformed into a boy by the magic of the sea." The revelation struck Koa like a crashing wave. A shark? It seemed impossible. Yet as the sea spirit spoke, forgotten memories began stirring within him. He remembered racing through endless waters beneath the stars. He remembered hunting among coral reefs and swimming beside creatures of the deep. Most of all, he remembered a great danger. Long ago, a dark force had awakened beneath the ocean floor, threatening both sea creatures and island people alike. The ocean spirits had chosen one young shark to become a bridge between two worlds. Through ancient magic, that shark had been transformed into a human child and carried safely to shore. That child was Koa. "You were given this form so you could learn the ways of humans," explained the spirit. "One day, both the ocean and the village would need you." Koa listened in stunned silence. His entire life suddenly made sense. The strange dreams, his connection to the sea, and the feeling that he never truly belonged in one world alone. Yet the truth also frightened him. If the villagers learned what he really was, would they still accept him? Would they see him as a friend or as a monster hiding among them? For the first time, Koa questioned where he truly belonged. Not long after Koa learned the truth, troubling signs began appearing across the islands. Fish disappeared from traditional fishing grounds. Coral reefs that had thrived for generations started turning pale and lifeless. Strange tremors shook the ocean floor. The village elders grew concerned, and fishermen returned home with stories of dark shadows moving beneath their canoes. Koa sensed something familiar in these warnings. Deep within his heart, he knew the ancient threat spoken of by the sea spirit was awakening once more. Determined to protect the people he loved, he returned to the underwater cave, seeking guidance. The sea spirit's expression was grave. "The creature called Temungu stirs again," she warned. "It feeds on fear and greed. Wherever it travels, life disappears. If it rises fully from the abyss, both sea and land will suffer." Koa understood what was at stake. The villagers who had raised him were in danger. The ocean creatures who shared his forgotten past were also at risk. For the first time, he realized his destiny was not about choosing between two worlds. It was about protecting both of them. Yet to defeat Temungu, he would first need to discover the full power hidden within himself. Under the guidance of the sea spirit, Koa began a journey of self-discovery. He traveled the sacred lagoons, hidden caves, and distant islands where ancient ocean magic still lingered. There, he learned to understand the shark spirit within him rather than fear it. During one powerful ceremony beneath a full moon, Koa entered the ocean and felt a transformation unlike anything he had ever experienced. His senses sharpened. He could hear distant movements through the water. He could feel currents flowing for miles around him. And for the first time, he briefly returned to his shark form. Instead of terror, he felt freedom. He realized that being a shark did not make him dangerous. What mattered was the choices he made. A powerful body could be used for destruction or protection. A sharp tooth could bring fear or defend the helpless. Koa finally understood that identity is not defined by appearance, but by character. Whether shark or human, he remained the same compassionate soul. With this new confidence, he mastered the ability to shift between forms. Yet even as his power grew, dark currents spread through the ocean. Temungu was drawing closer, and time was running short. One stormy evening, disaster struck. Massive waves crashed against the coastline. Fishing boats vanished in the darkness. Terrified villagers gathered on the shore as an enormous shadow emerged beyond the reef. Temungu had arrived. Its body was vast and twisted, covered in scars from ancient battles. Its eyes glowed like burning embers beneath the sea. Fear spread quickly through the village. Families hurried to protect their children, while elders prayed for help. Koa knew he could no longer hide the truth. Standing before the villagers, he revealed everything: his mysterious origin, his shark nature, and the prophecy he had learned. For a moment, silence filled the air. Some stared in shock. Others stepped back in fear. Koa's heart sank. He had always dreaded this moment. Then an elderly fisherman stepped forward. It was the man who had found him years ago after the storm. "You may have come from the sea," he said softly, "but you have always been one of us." One by one, the villagers nodded. They remembered Koa's kindness, courage, and loyalty. Their trust gave him strength. United at last, the village prepared to face the darkness together. As thunder rolled across the sky, Koa plunged into the raging ocean and transformed fully into his shark form. Powerful and swift, he raced through towering waves toward Temungu. Around him swam sea turtles, dolphins, and countless fish, all answering the call to defend their home. Above the water, villagers lit sacred fires along the shore and sang ancient chants taught by their ancestors. It was a battle unlike any the islands had ever witnessed. Temungu unleashed violent currents that shattered coral and churned the sea into chaos. Koa fought bravely, but his enemy was ancient and immensely powerful. Again and again, Temungu knocked him back. Yet every time, Koa rose stronger than before. He drew strength from both sides of his identity: the determination he had learned from humans and the resilience he had inherited from the ocean. Slowly, he realized victory would not come through strength alone. Temungu fed on division, fear, and hatred. To defeat it, Koa needed something greater than power. He needed unity. He needed every living creature and every villager to stand together as one community. Hearing Koa's call, the villagers and ocean creatures joined their efforts in a way never seen before. Fishermen launched their canoes despite the storm, creating a protective barrier along the reef. Dolphins guided trapped boats to safety. Seabirds circled overhead, carrying signals across the coastline. Beneath the waves, schools of fish moved together like living currents, helping Koa outmaneuver his enemy. The ocean itself seemed to respond to their unity. As fear gave way to courage, Te Maungu began to weaken. The darkness surrounding the creature faded. Realizing this, Koa swam directly toward the ancient monster. Instead of attacking with rage, he confronted it with understanding. He recognized that Te Maungu had grown powerful because generations had allowed fear to divide them. With every act of cooperation, that power disappeared. A brilliant light spread across the water as villagers and sea creatures stood together. The ancient darkness finally broke apart and dissolved into the currents. The storm clouds vanished. Calm seas returned. For the first time in centuries, harmony existed between the island people and the ocean world they depended upon. When the battle ended, Koa faced a difficult decision. The sea spirit appeared once more and offered him a choice. He could remain permanently in the ocean as a shark guardian, watching over the reefs and sea creatures forever. Or he could live entirely as a human among the villagers he loved. Both paths held meaning. Both felt like home. Koa spent many days reflecting beside the shore, where his journey had begun. He thought about the fishermen who had raised him, the friends who trusted him, and the ocean that had given him life. Eventually, he realized he did not need to abandon one part of himself to embrace the other. His greatest strength came from being both. So Koa chose a new path. He would continue walking between worlds. Some days he would live among the villagers, helping them fish, build, and celebrate. Other days he would swim the deep ocean, protecting reefs and guiding sea creatures. His life became a living bridge between two communities. And because of that choice, understanding between humans and the sea grew stronger with each passing year. Many generations passed, and Koa eventually became a legend whispered around evening fires beneath the stars. Parents told their children about the shark who became a man, not because of magic alone, but because of the courage in his heart. Fishermen spoke of a great shark that sometimes appeared beside lost canoes during storms, guiding them safely home. Divers claimed they saw a guardian watching silently from the edge of coral reefs. Whether those stories were true, no one could say for certain. Yet the lessons of Koa's life endured. The people remembered that loyalty is stronger than fear. They remembered that identity is not something to hide, but something to understand and embrace. Most importantly, they remembered that communities thrive when individuals choose to protect one another, regardless of their differences. And so, whenever the ocean shimmered beneath a golden sunset, the islanders would smile and look toward the horizon. Somewhere beyond the waves, they believed their guardian still watched over them. Not fully shark, not fully man, but something far greater, a symbol of unity, belonging, and the unbreakable bond between people and the sea.